All right, so break it down. How would you break down a Golovkin?
I would beat him with the jab. I would footwork. I'll put plenty of footwork into it, and I'll punch with him. When he punch, I'll make sure my punches hurt harder.
Okay.
I'll make sure they all count.
Okay. Would you try to gas him, or you just go toe to toe with him for the whole 12, or what?
I'll go toe to toe. I'll box him some. I'll move some. I'll dance some. See, this is what they do. They don't move no more. You know what I'm saying? They go toe to toe with him and bang. They get caught by him. You know, but I'll go toe to toe, slick, bang, see what he got. You know, I got to give him some old school, baby.
So what was the difference back then? It does seem like fighters back in your era were a little rougher, a little tougher. They weren't afraid to exchange. What was the difference? Like, how did you guys train differently than today?
Well, you know, today we focus more on what we had to do. You know what I'm saying? When you got guys like Tommy Hearns, John Bobby, you know, these guys, you wanna be able. You gotta have footwork. You gotta have stamina to go with these guys, and you gotta have power to go with them. Look how Hagler was coming at you. You know what I'm saying? You had to be ready for these guys.
So how would you develop your power for a fight? You know, how do you get more? Like, because most people say punches are born. Is there a way to get hit harder?
Well, see, that's the thing. If you're a puncher, you born with power. You blessed with power, and nobody can take that away. You know what I'm saying? Either you got it or you don't. If you don't have the power, then you got to know how to get it. You got to either find you a little bit of training, a little weight training in the weight thing, and build you up some power or whatever.
So you think a guy could become a stronger puncher by lifting weights?
Well, not physical weightlifting. You know, a couple of little dumbbells to pull your arms together and flex around and get some training in there. You know what I'm saying? Nothing to make you tight. You'll be good. I do a little every now and then. I've been blessed with power, but I'm saying I still use it for some certain stiffness, you know, just to get that extra power.
So who do you think has power now that could rock with you guys in your era? Do you think any of the middleweights now can hang with you guys?
The only, you know, Canelo would have probably hung with maybe one or two of us, but I doubt if he would have hung with a guy like with me, John the Beast Mugabe. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So all right. So say we drop Canelo back in the 80s, early 90s, right? Early mid 90s. So how does Canelo match up against Thomas Hearns?
He don't, because Tommy had a great, you know, jab and a great hard punch. So you gotta be a real good puncher with Tommy.
So how does Golovkin match up with Thomas Hearns?
He gets knocked out.
Yeah. So you think Hearns would knock Golovkin out, or Golovkin would knock out Tommy?
Tommy would knock him out.
You think it'll be early?
Tommy would knock him out. Like, you know, Tommy was only good for like 4 rounds. If he was type to know Tommy with them long arms and everything, if you didn't have that strength to keep up with him, you was getting knocked out.
Okay. How do you think Golovkin would do against the Sugar Ray Leonard?
Well, Leonard was more, you know, Leonard would razzle dazzle him with his speed and you know what little power he had, you know, but his combination punches and stuff, he was definitely would have beat him in that way with his speed and his combination power.
Okay. What about GGG and Hagler?
Hagler would have beat him.
Knockout decision?
Yeah, Hagler would have knocked him out.
Huh. What about GGG and Duran?
Duran would have outslicked him.
Wow.
Duran is a better puncher than him.
What about GGG and Mugabe?
Mugabe would have knocked him out.
Damn, so you don't give these guys a chance back in your era, huh?
Yep, I don't give him a chance at all.
All right, how would Canelo have done in your era? Canelo against Thomas Hearns.
He would have got knocked out too.
Canelo against Ray Leonard.
Ray would have, morally been like more cautious with Canelo. He would have been more like boxing him and hitting him with more speed. So, but Ray would have beat him on like decision. I don't think Ray would have knocked him out.
Okay, what about Duran and Canelo?
Duran would have definitely knocked him out. Duran was slick and crafty, knew all the tricks.
Say that again. I'm sorry, we lost you a little bit.
Duran was crafty and slick. He know how to beat a guy like that and weigh him down.
All right. So so I noticed you mentioned you would handle, if you fought GGG, you would jab him a lot. Do you think the jab is a lost art? Because I notice a lot of boxers these days don't use the jab as effectively, or they don't use it at all.
They don't, they don't know how to, these trainers today don't know how to train their fighters to jab. You know what I'm saying? There's very few fighters that will jab against fighters that, like, and the days that I came along, like, you had guys like Emmanuel Stewart, Angelo Dundee. You had a guy like that wasn't even mentioned, like one of my co-trainers, Connie Bryant and Leon Washington, that we worked from the jabs and all of that kind of stuff,
So you think it's because the trainers don't know the science of boxing as well?
Yeah, these trainers today, I don't know where they come from. There's only a few left that was back in the old days. You know what I'm saying? You got Tommy Gallagher. He's like one of the last guys that know how to teach boxing and know about teaching his fighters the jab and stuff. And you might have like what's his name?
Freddie Rocha?
Freddie Roach, good trainer.
Freddie Roach, I mean, yeah.
Freddie Roach. You still got Panama. Panama be a good guy.
He's banned from boxing though, right?
Yeah, he's banned from boxing, but guys like him and Freddie Roach and Emmanuel Stewart, if they was like, guys. I mean, even though Angelo would have been good, Chris Dundee would have been good too. He's good too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.